In the vein of YouTube comedian Peanut Butter Gamer and his Zelda/Mario Month tradition, where he uploads several videos based on the series all throughout November, I've decided to do something similar of my own. I love the Zelda franchise as much as the next guy, it's one of my favorites, but honestly, there's one game I have a love for that surpasses even the very best this series has to offer, and that is The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. I love it so much that this game's permanently etched onto my arm. Yay! And of all the hours I've spent playing and thinking about this game's world, I've realized that there's enough content for me to not just dedicate an entire month to Zelda collectively, but to Majora's Mask specifically. Due to this revelation from the goddesses, or lack thereof in Termina, I now claim March the month of Majora. Or I would if I didn't catch the acronym, which would be MOM, or Mom. Actually, maybe I'll use that for Month of Mother. But anyway, the new name is Majora's Mask Month. Before I ramble too much, let's kick off, or jump slash rather, through the very first video of this celebration with my ranking of the 5 swords Link can collect on this quest. The 5th spot on my list is unsurprisingly the starting Kokiri sword. I will say that it's used cleverly to incentivize, as after this opening area the player is given control, our hero is unwillingly transformed into a Deku Scrub and can't use the weapon again until he's changed back. It aids in appreciating the sword when it's back in commission, but even then there's an undeniable desire to swap it out for something better. It does have the lowest damage output after all. I will say that since Majora's Mask is a direct sequel to Ocarina of Time, I do like the fact that it's brought over by Link from his previous adventure. But for some reason, it has a redesign, and that's always bothered me a bit, so I'll have to deduct points for continuity. Regardless, let's be honest with ourselves, with his other options, it would not have been Link's first choice anyway. A pitiful downgrade for Child Link. Next up on my list is the gorgeous Razor Sword. It may be surprising to see so low on here, as it's a favorite among many for its design, but I just couldn't place it any higher because of its limited practicality. The poor thing breaks after only 100 swings and is essentially just a stepping stone for the next upgrade. In fact, I usually just skip over this one completely, as it takes an entire in-game day to make. If I were to use it, it'd be solely for the Snowhead Temple, but time is more valuable when conquering dungeons, especially when you only have 3 to work with. Snowhead is designed around Goron Link's mechanics anyway, so a more feasible option is to simply punch everything in the face. It is probably the best looking weapon and one I associate with Majora's Mask the most as it's used in promotional material, but it's too niche to be really considered. Number 3 on my list is the fan-dubbed Double Helix Sword. It is only wielded by the Fierce Deity and can be used in all 4 temple boss fights, as well as the battles against Majora. These limitations are why it sits at the middle of this list, but even so it's an awesome endgame reward because it's super satisfying to use on Majora's forms. We're given a taste of just how much of a powerhouse this weapon is too, as it's able to completely obliterate the final boss with next to no effort. As a nice throwback to earlier installments in the series, the sword can shoot energy beams from its blade, though this time it's updated to deplete magic instead of requiring full health. The look itself is also pretty sweet with interesting colors that balance each other out. The double blades intertwining is a quirk I've never seen done before. It's so unique that it was even recreated in real life by the YouTube channel Man at Arms. I love the Fierce Deity sword, but the other 2 deserve their spots even more. At number 2 we have the Gilded Sword, created by first forging the aforementioned Razor Sword at the Mountain Smithy, combined with gold dust won at the Goron Race. This blade has a lot of appeal, but general opinion considers it to be lower than the Razor Sword, which I disagree with. The concept of how it comes to be is spectacular. I love the idea of crafting a blade with premium material to make a gold-plated weapon. This sword is noticeably larger than the Kokiri sword, and looks much better carried around by the Hero of Time. It even swaps out his sheath for a red one, complementing the silver and gold swivel pattern quite nicely. And finally, the number 1 sword in Majora's Mask is the Great Fairy's Sword. This weapon is overlooked and underappreciated. It's retrieved after reviving the Great Fairy of Kindness. Like her sisters in the other 4 main dungeons, she's split by the Skull Kid into 15 stray fairies to be rescued by Link. As reward for hunting them all in the most difficult challenge yet, the player is endowed with a trophy weapon 4 times more powerful than the Kokiri sword. This is one of the most fascinating Zelda weapons I've ever seen, using this game's unique purple, red, and green palette of colors for a stark feel. Intricate black etchings of roses find their way up the blade, which has a significantly larger striking size compared to the other available. One drawback is that it's so massive it requires 2 hands for a young Link to wield, and while adding to its badassery means there's no other hand available for use with a shield. But hey, ditching the defensive and going full offensive for a fight has a certain appeal anyway, as that's the fighting style I usually stick to in an action-adventure game like this. If you are a more cautious player though, there's no need to fret. While it may not be as effective, the sword can still be used to block and parry attacks. The only other negative is that it's not a replacement to the Gilded Sword, acting as an interchangeable item rather than fixed to a main button. But there's even a benefit to this, albeit small. Jinxes placed on Link by the blue bubbles that roam Termina Field will not apply to the Great Fairy's sword. Jump slashes are mapped to the same button they always were too, so only some adjustment on the player's behalf is necessary. This doesn't change the fact that it is annoying to re-equip each time the sword's needed, but it's so satisfying that I never really cared too much. Taking down the most elusive beasts is a blast with this prize, and it's definitely the top choice of swords for me. So do you disagree with any or all of my placements? Let me know why in the comments and I'll be happy to discuss it. This is one of 3 videos I'll be doing for the month of March, and while their topics are set in stone already, I'd love to read some suggestions for future Majora's Mask month content. Thank you all, and hopefully I'll see you next week.